and welcome to today's Read Aloud. It is by Tommy DePaula, and it's Strega Nona's Harvest. Tommy DePaula, Strega Nona's Harvest. It was spring, and all the snow had melted. The rich earth was beginning to warm. Strega Nona pulled out a small wooden box that had been hidden away in the dark cupboard all winter. "Aha," she said, as she took out small packets of seeds that she had saved from last year's garden. "Chi siete I miei amici piccoli? Here you are, my little friends." "Why were all those seeds in the dark, Strega Nona?" Big Anthony asked. "Well, mio cara, my dear," Strega Nona answered. "They had to rest just like you do, so they will be able to do their job when we plant them in the garden." "When will we plant them?" Strega Nona Bambolona asked. "When La Luna, the moon, tells us, Bambolona. Then we will plant each kind of seed carefully in the right place. After all, we can't just throw the seeds into the ground in a big pile. A garden must be orderly so it is easy to pick the vegetables." Now let me look in Libro di Giardino, garden book, to see what we did last year. And so here she has a very orderly garden, right? She looks like she planted these first, and then those, and then those, and then those. Every year, Strega Nona wrote down in her book what she planted, when and where. She never put the same vegetables in the same spot. "We have to move them around," she told her young helpers, "so the soil will stay happy and strong. But first, Anthony, you must spread the compost and manure." You know what that is, right? Compost and manure. Compost is kind of yucky, rotted food, and manure is usually horse or cow poo. We'll spread the compost and the manure we have saved all winter and rake it into the soil so our vegetables will grow big and beautiful as can be. So Big Anthony put a clothespin on his nose and did his job, because it does not smell pretty, you guys. "Children, come," Strega Nona called. "It is almost the end of Maggio, May, and there will be a full moon tonight. It is time to plant. Now, Anthony, I want you to make a nice straight rows in the soil with the end of the hoe. That's where the seeds will go." "Big Anthony," Bambolona scolded, "you're not making the rows straight enough. You know what Strega Nona likes. Everything perfect," she added. "And so do I." Bambolona is so bossy, Big Anthony thought. "Someday I'll show her I can do something perfect too." And here she's planting all of her stuff. She's got seeds for pumpkins. Looks like that's called suka. And gourds, eggplant, peas, lettuce, artichokes, avocado, it looks like. Or maybe it's it's a melon. Beans, zucchini, and tomatoes. And so now they're getting busy, and see how they're putting all the little pictures in to make sure that they know what is growing where. That night, when the full moon rose in the sky, Strega Nona quietly crept into the garden. She looked up at the moon and sang, "Oh, bella luna, smile on me, and on the seeds I sow, and let the moonbeams shine from thee, to make my garden grow. And now for the ingrediente secreto, secret ingredient." Strega Nona blew 3 kisses to the moon. And it's always those 3 kisses. "Oh," said Big Anthony as he watched her. Suddenly he spied some seeds that had dropped on the ground. "I know, I'll plant my own perfect garden behind the goat shed. I'll show that, Bambolona." So Big Anthony poked some holes in the ground. He threw in the seeds and covered them with compost and manure. He watered and watered. Then he sang Strega Nona's song. "Oh, bella luna, smile on me, and on the seeds I sow, and let the moonbeams shine from thee, to make my little garden grow." Really grow. He blew 3 kisses to the moon, and to be sure, he blew 3 more. As it did every year, Strega Nona's garden grew beautifully. Big Anthony's garden, Strega Nona's garden. Big Anthony's garden, Strega Nona's garden. Soon bright green insalata salad was on the table. Fresh peas were added to the pasta from Strega Nona's pasta pot. Green beans were cooked in olive oil, and the other vegetables were growing beautifully too. Big Anthony's secret garden was growing as well, but not quite so beautiful. It looked like a jungle. Mamma mia, Big Anthony thought. I can't let Bambolona or Strega Nona see this mess. Here's his garden. And here's Strega Nona's garden. Look how nice and neat this looks. His not so much. Now that it was time to harvest the vegetables that Strega Nona would keep over the winter. And so they're getting ready to harvest, and that means they're going to plug all the stuff and put it in storage. It wasn't long before the root cellar and the rafters in the kitchen were full. Molto bene, very good, said Strega Nona to Bambolona and Big Anthony. A job well done. We all deserve a good rest. But Big Anthony didn't have time to rest. He had other work to do. I've got to pick all my vegetables. What will I do with them? He said. Santo Cielo! Good heavens, Strega Nona said. Where did these come from? The next morning, when Strega Nona opened her door, she found a big pile of vegetables. She called Big Anthony and Bambolona. My children, please carry all these vegetables into the kitchen. Grazie, thank you. Every morning there were more vegetables outside the door. Soon there was hardly any room to move in the kitchen. Maybe these are from the villagers, Strega Nona thought. Perhaps they had too good of a harvest. Well, I must find out, and soon. If this goes on, I won't have room to sleep in my little bed at night. The next morning Strega Nona packed a basket of vegetables. I'll take these to the sisters of the convent, and maybe they'll know something. Oh, grazie, Strega Nona, said the Mother Superior. You must have heard our prayers. Our garden didn't do so well this season. In fact, no one's garden in the village did. We had too much rain down here, while you had lots of sun on your hill. So Strega Nona went right to the mayor. See, yes, Strega Nona, Senor Mayor said, the harvest was poor this year. Well, I have more than enough to share, said Strega Nona. I will have a harvest feast tomorrow evening at sundown. Tell everyone to come. And Strega Nona practically ran up to her little house. Bambolona, Big Anthony, come quickly. Strega Nona said, we have much work to do. I'm going to have a harvest feast for all our friends and neighbors. We shall share our bounty. And look at all these vegetables that they're sharing with one another. So nice. So they came and they all took something and they're all going home. That's kind of what our farmers are doing right now for people. Evviva, evviva, hurrah, hurrah for Strega Nona, everyone shouted. Arrivederci, buonanotte. Good night, Strega Nona and her two helpers called out. Strega Nona looked around her empty little kitchen. Well, that took care of that, she said with a smile. But I still wonder where all those vegetables came from. And she climbed into her bed. Later that night, it's Big Anthony and he's coming with more. You know what was really cool about this book was that for once, Big Anthony actually did something really nice, I think. And so maybe Bambolona and Strega Nona are kind of rubbing off on him because they're both really good people. And I think Big Anthony is a good guy. Deep down inside, he just doesn't always know what to do. So hope you enjoyed the story. More the next time. Have a good afternoon.